Yes, yes, people, we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for another edition of the Manchester United Tottenham Hotspur podcast, Man United pod. Me's talking that Tottenham Talk pod where we discuss all things Manchester United, all things Spurs. In regards to Spurs, their good form in the Premier League comes to the end as they lost 1-0 at home to Manchester City. But like I say, good run of form for them. And it did take some of the pressure, or even whether it's a little bit, but some of the pressure off of Ange Postecoglou. So we'll be discussing what's next for Spurs, including them in the Europa League. Speaking of the Europa League as well, Manchester United are also in that competition next week as well. But before that, Manchester United are in a different competition, facing Fulham at the weekend in the FA Cup as well. But before I bring in the Spurs representatives, make sure whether you're watching this live right now or watching this back after the live, hit the like button on the video. So important you do that. Hit that like button expeditiously. Make sure you share this out across all the socials. And That's Me Flawless at Sarcasm City TV, at Sarcasm City TV, at That's Me Flawless, ladies and gentlemen. So retweet and like from Twitter, share from the Instagram, and just as important, make sure you subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV and hit the notification bell as well. Make sure you do that. So yeah, like I said, keep all your comments, questions, Manchester United or Spurs related. Let's bring in a couple of the representatives in the building. Jacob is here, Mr. United Spurs of America. De Niro's in the building. What are you man saying, man? What's going on?
Hey, I'm too blessed to be stressed, even though Tottenham do their damnedest to make sure I stay stressed.
Tottenham do their best, Joe. You're looking well, though, Jacob, man. I'm not seeing you smile in a minute, so that's good.
Hey,
that's positive, man.
I was looking at a few things because, like I said, you listen to some people and they'll tell you the sky's falling just because a little raindrop hit them in the forehead. Or in our case, I guess, what is that, 14 raindrops directly in the face over the course of the season. But, it's one of them, as I've heard other people so eloquently put, it's one of them way there. It's one of them way there. And main thing is for me in the league, avoid relegation. The road to 40 points has been a target for me for a little bit. And then also, let's see what we can do in Europa. We got AZ coming up. We rested some of our best players in Son, Kulu, and Jed Spence. The best fullback in the world. We can talk about it, but I do love me some Jed Spence, man. I'll be honest. Love a good redemption arc. Jedemption arc. No, it's not good. Anyway, I'm great, man. Too blessed to be stressed.
Love that, man. Love that. In fine form as always. De Niro, what are you telling me, family? You good?
I'm good, bro. Yeah, man. You get me. Obviously, I expected that loss anyways, man. So yeah, we're live, bro.
You did say that, yo. Yo, totally crack. Yo, De Niro, yo, you're just so over it. I can tell just by your tone.
Yeah, bro. It's what it is, man.
Yeah, it's like, get this man out, but I'm dead.
Yeah, man. This is it, bro.
I hear you. But Jacob, we'll go to you because I actually didn't watch your game. So the City game, not only the result, but also the performance. Thoughts on it all? I didn't actually see too much. I didn't see too much.
Yeah, we were playing at the same time.
Your fan base. Yeah, because we was playing at the same time. But I didn't see too much criticism or too much conversation about your loss. So that leads me to believe that your performance wasn't that bad, or was it that bad? The result wasn't that bad that there wasn't the fallout. Because normally when you lose, there's plenty of conversation surrounding it. But I didn't really hear too much.
I think it's more the horse has fallen and is not moving. People are presuming it to be dead. Therefore, why would you continue to beat the horse? Is I think where the people are eventually getting to, and that's why you haven't heard so much wah after that performance. But from a footballing standpoint, I thought there was aspects of it that was good. There was aspects of it that was not so good. Now, and it's going to vary between who you talk to because, it's interesting on Twitter. I heard a lot of people not talking nicely about certain players that I actually thought had a good performance, and they were propping up players that I thought had a bad performance. So really, it's kind of a mixed match of what you're going to get from people in regards to how they saw it. But from my standpoint, I thought we just couldn't score the damn goal. Jed Spence comes onto the pitch, absolutely changes the dynamic. Destiny Udogie, for me, I'm a little concerned. He's had 2 major surgeries, in the last, I think, 18 months. So for me, I like to factor that in whenever I say, oh, he's playing shit or he's not. But bottom line is Jed Spence, offensively, arguably our best fullback, but defensively, there's no argument. He is our best defensive fullback, and I stand on that every single day of the week. Now, a lot of people, Lucas Bergvall, for instance, people were having a lot to say about him. I thought he had a pretty decent game for what it's worth. And James Madison, you know, I give him a lot of shtick. He was getting stuck in a lot, and I appreciate that. He was putting his body on the line, and normally he's one of those, you touched me, and then I'm going to fall. I'm a ref. And, you know, it was like 7 minutes of the match before he really started complaining to the ref. So I was impressed with that. That's 7 more minutes than I thought we would get. But I guess when he walks out with the armband, he'd feel a little bit different. I don't know. But also, Pedro Porro for me has been the big liability defensively. There's no questioning his qualities as a footballer, as a player going forward. I mean, I guess his decision-making in that one match, who were we playing? That motherfucker, he could have squared it. There was 2 open dudes in front of the net, and he shoots it and hits the side net. That motherfucker. So, yeah, anyway, that's the offensive gripe I have for him. But defensively, when we concede goals, I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, 69 out of 70 goals that we concede come from our right-hand side, the opponent's left. And going into that match, I knew it didn't matter if they played Doku, Grealish, whoever. You put Jed Spence on that side, ain't nobody running down it because that's Jed's ally. Or, excuse me, Jed's alley. All right? Welcome to Jed's penitentiary because he was locking motherfuckers up. Look at Mo Salah. He had to go get transplants while he was in there just because that motherfucker got locked up. He needs sunlight, I think, for the hair to grow, right? Is that what it is when you get the hair plants?
I have no. You asking me? I have no idea. Is it sunlight to get the hair implants?
All I know is Jed Spence.
Look all that hair you got over there. You don't know about them things.
I don't know about them way there. But what I do know about is that if you look inside Jed's pockets, the penitentiary of Jed, Mo Salah's right there comfortably.
Yo, you talking slang cracks me up. Sorry, carry on, yo. Carry on, yo. This guy's crazy. This guy.
And then, you know, Kevin Danso.
Yeah, go on, carry on, because I was going to get to
I'll just kind of running through the players and kind of what I thought of them. Kevin Danso, for me, has been a huge bright spot for us. I think he's just one of them defenders that he just does his business. And there's been 2 different times where he kind of pushes high up a little bit, almost like Christian Romero does a lot. And he's been out of position, and then we leak a goal in that position but it's always built from the fucking right side, or their left, our right. And it's just, you know, there's only so many times I can get frustrated about the same thing. And I just keep thinking about Pedro Porro doing his best Woody impression from Toy Story versus Trossard. And then Doku, everyone makes fun of Doku, right? He's been a fucking meme and a joke lately. And he puts a man of the match performance. And he absolutely, on one of the moments, he bodied Pedro Porro. They went body to body, man to man. And there was one man standing and there was one on his ass. And it wasn't Pedro Porro standing. So how many, like, this guy's building up a spoof highlight. You know what I'm talking about? Them highlights that are low lights. It's like, you know, it's like watching United. Anytime I see y'all's highlights on Twitter, it's like just Dallo running into wherever the fuck.
I get the point. You know what I'm saying? This guy.
So that's what you know. You do know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like that.
I'm fully aware. You just don't need to go into detail because we're both fully aware what's going to be spoken about. This guy's added details. I'm fully aware. Yes, you are correct. I know how bad my team is, and we'll get to that. We'll go on.
I love me some Kevin Danso. And I think he's got a good header on him too, because he almost scored twice from 2 different headers, and they were very strong, well-taken headers, like a Virgil van Dijk-esque kind of header. So to me, he's been a bright spot. Archie Gray, I thought he was mostly pretty good on the day. A lot of people didn't think he was. They were saying he was shit. And then later that night, you know what he does? He goes and takes home an award from the London PFA. So big shout out to Archie Gray for that. Bentancur, he did a good job as well. I thought got stuck in a lot for us, won the ball for us, and they were starting to build up play nicely. But this is where it starts to get back into the negatives a little bit in the front line. Now, Brennan Johnson, I didn't actually think it's a weird day when Brennan Johnson's one of your best forwards because he was actually looking like a guy who wanted to play with the ball at his feet. Because normally he's just I'm going to pass it to you and run. And then when you pass it to me, I'm going to pass it backwards and then I'm going to run. And he's just, he does that. And it's just, I've gotten used to that. But he was dribbling inside of the box, Flawless. He took dribbles inside. Excuse me, Brennan Johnson. That's nice. Did you deactivate your Instagram again? Is that why you've got this bravado? What's going on here? And that was nice, but obviously didn't fucking score, so it doesn't really matter how nice. And then Matthis Tel, I actually felt genuinely sorry for this guy because number one, he's just chasing. He's the leading man in a press where you're pressing a team that loves building out of the back. So he's just chasing the ball, just left, right, left, just running for 65 minutes. I mean, I was watching the match with my friend Hotspur Hippie, and we were just on the phone watching the match together. And I was like, man, I just feel like Tel's just been chasing the ball for 60 minutes, and that's all we've seen of him. Wilson Odobert showed some bright spots as far as dribbling the ball, going at his man, but then one-dimensional aspects as well is the same thing over and over. But again, he's a guy who's also been injured a lot. This is the first time he's played over 60 minutes, and I don't know how long, maybe since we signed him. So to me, that is also one of them where it's just got to he's got to get into form and kind of play himself into form. And so he got a bunch of minutes, and a lot of people were really upset, Flawless, about Son being benched, Spence being benched.
How do you feel about Son and Spence being benched? And Kulusevski?
To me,
it was Johnson, Odobert, and Tel, which
Matthis
was
Tel, yeah, a lot of people were surprised by that, and then also Destiny and Pedro Porro getting the start over Spence. But I think people tend to forget the fact that we're in a place now where we can rotate players based on their fitness, not just their performances. And I think that's what that was, because if you look at Jed Spence's workload over the last 3 months, I went back and looked at it. He's been a part of everything outside of the FA Cup, outside of Europa, but in all the Carabao Cup matches he's been a part of. And then most recently, December, January, and all of February, he's been a staple in our team. So his workload has massively increased than what he's used to. So people are saying, oh, he's 24 years old. He shouldn't have been rotated. He's our best player, yada, yada. And I hear it, but I don't. I think my camera might have froze there.
Yeah,
well, I'll just carry on. What a weird face. Here, how about a weirder face over that? So, yeah, baby. If there's one thing
that's one of the best managers in the league.
Super duper Mick indeed. You know what I think it is? I think I need to swap batteries, even though I'm plugged into power. I'll do that when De Niro's talking, but I'll finish up real quick. I wasn't upset about Spence getting rotated. I thought Son getting rotated was necessary. And people say, oh, well, we have 8 days before our next game. That's not rotation. That's he got dropped, or they're, getting really oversensitive about whatever the fuck. And to me, it's just, it's one of those where when you have a certain narrative and agenda to push in your own mind and outwardly, when things look in a way that it's like a guy standing there with a knife covered in blood and there's a dead body and you're like, he's the murderer, hang him then and there. And it's like, that's not the whole story. And then you uncover the story and you find out there's more to it. There was actually a whole bunch of people coming around shanking everyone, and he was trying to shank them back and he couldn't. And then they all left. And it's like, so if there's any amount of possibilities to be true, but people see what feeds their inner feelings, and then they run with it. Yeah. And I get that. That's just human nature, but it's just kind of Neanderthalic a little bit, in my opinion. A little bit caveman-esque, like, ooh, to rock, I make fire, ha. And it's just like, to me, let's use our brains. It's the year 2025. We've got critical thinking skills and the ability to, apply context to situations to where maybe it would allow you to have a different idea or a different way of thinking about said instance. So, and to wrap it up, I think Jed Spence needed a rest. They say, oh, he should have been rested versus Ipswich then and start Porro. Well, then you're negating the fact that Pedro Porro as well needs rest. Kulusevski needs rest. And another thing is Kulu, Son, and Spence have been instrumental to our team in the 3 wins out of 3 that we did have in the league. And to me, them 3 being left out of the team sheet signals that they are crucial parts to this. So he wouldn't rotate them if he didn't need them as fresh as a Easter bunny on a May afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Ainge unlocked Jed Spence. Now everybody want to say it's Ainge's fault for Jed not getting minutes. It's Ainge's fault. Jed's gonna get a blah blah blah. Wham wham wham. Everybody gonna wham wham. Now what I would slap Ainge in the fucking mouth about is the fact that Timo Werner made it on the fucking team sheet. First of all, that's one slap in the mouth, right in the kisser. Just right in the banger. And because Mikey Moore gets left out for Timo fucking Werner. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I would say, Timo, just hang out with the lawnmower dude. The guy who does the gardening at Hotspur Way. You're his assistant now. We don't need you. We got Mikey Moore. We've got numbers back. The fact that, to me, one of my most exciting things I'm looking forward to over the next coming years at Tottenham in Mikey Moore is the fact that, like, he's such a bright young kid and he just needs time to cultivate himself and ingratiate himself and really get up to speed and up to strength. And it's just really disappointing. So I'd slap Ainge right across the mouth for that one. And then I would also say, that's one slap. The second slap is the fact that you brought Timo Werner on in the 80-something minute, and Dane Scarlett's sitting right there, who, again, he's one of our own. He's a guy that we've been trying to nurture and grow. He's had, I think 3 GA in 2 games. So it's, yeah, man, Bronsic. It took me a second to register that.
Yeah, I was just saying,
word.
Big up. See you lot in the chat. Don't worry, I'm starving the best questions. I got you lot, but Jacob just being Jacob. Go on, carry on.
Just rambling on, just mad ramblings of a madman.
Oh, you're here, Jacob, man. I know what you're like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We spoke
together
many times.
I already created a crime scene. I already talked about, wildlife.
Your analogies go all everywhere. But that's what makes Jacob. Is you are the content creator version of a streets will never forget baller, because you don't know what you're gonna do. You're one of them ballers when you pick up the ball.
I like that.
That's you, man. You are a streets never forget content creator. You be the type of baller who pick up the ball off the goalkeeper and try Mega Man in your own 6-yard box. That's you. You know what I'm saying? That's you.
Hey, you got a good point. I love that. I need to clip that, and I'm gonna have that as part of my intro. Man. That's great. But yeah, overall disappointed with the result as well. I thought we did play well, a lot better in the second half than we did in the first half. First half was let City do what they want, kind of get it out of their system, and then we'll go. And they did look tired and leggy. But again, they were able to bring on very good talent with fresh legs. So to me, I just, Ainge gets a couple slaps in the mouth for some of the team selection. Not for the first 11, but for the bench and then what he did bringing Timo Werner on. To be quite honest, I don't know, indefensible. There's nothing I can say that's like, oh, I get it, why he did that. No, you shouldn't have done it. Slap in the mouth. That's what I think.
No, first, De Niro, my G. Well, like you said, yeah, you were all blessed and everything. I don't know how much of the game you caught, but thoughts on the result, performances from individuals, manager as well, etc. Who impressed, who didn't impress you in the game, etc.
What's it called? Sack him now, man. But boom. What was I saying? So yeah, the first thing that I seen that I was basically not really too happy with, but the way Jacob spoke about it, maybe I can make an exception. Was obviously the Jed Spence thing. I was thinking, bro, the guy's been on form and that, and then you just bench him for a game like this, which I didn't really understand. But then at the same time, I could understand it. But then the reason why I don't at the same time is because if you're resting him for the next game or whatever, it's gonna be more in your head if you don't play him, basically. You understand? Yeah. So if he doesn't play him in the next game, then everything I say is void, and I take it back in it. You get me? But obviously, if it's that case, then I don't mind. I don't mind because obviously we're not like Arsenal and them, man. Obviously overplaying Bukayo Saka and that now the guy's injured. You get, we're not like them, man. Then so this is the thing, bro. Yeah, man. I think there's not too much to complain about. Though. We didn't play that bad. We played all right, man. Like, I'm not gonna, I can do the banner thing and everything, but we played all right. I can't deny that. I do think, obviously some of the chances that were missed should have been taken. The Son chance, I think he could have done better. Obviously, I know it's still a difficult chance. I'm not gonna make it like it was the easiest chance, but he could have done better there. Yeah, Brennan Johnson, give you props where props is due. He had a good game. But I'll be real, but you still stink. But you had a good game against City as well. So, yeah, man. Like I said before, Jed Spence is the truth, bro. And I've been screaming it from before. Before even Ange was here, bro. I've been screaming it from when we even first bought him. Like I always say, I refer back to that game in the FA Cup when he first came on the map properly for everybody to know who, like, kind of see who's this guy, like, when he was playing for Nottingham Forest. And like I say, with him is that the fact of the matter is he's a top player, and I like the fact that he can even play on both sides. You understand? He can play on both sides. I'm not saying he's the greatest at left back, but he can play on both sides. You understand? So that's good. But let me get into the corners, bro. This is the real
Yeah,
part
man.
that I want to speak about. Now I see Pedro Porro, bro. Bro, fam. I just need a minute, bro. One second.
It's cool, man. Take your time.
Bro, you see Pedro Porro, I've had enough, bro. Like, I'll be honest with you, bro. I can't, like, I don't know a defender who I can't even say if you're good at what you do or you're not good at what you do. I've never had that in my life, bro. Like, somebody where it's like you're so bad, but yet you're not dead either. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you're so bad, but then you're not bad. Like, it's so weird. I don't like. It's like a.
And he gives a
it's,
lot of passion too, so it's
This
like you
is
want
it,
to
bro.
root for him.
Yeah,
I don't. You get it.
Is it because he does the really bad things, but then on the flip side, he'll do really good things? Is it kind of like that?
Yeah, like it's bro. I couldn't even, like. It's like, okay, cool. Put it like this. Yeah, it's like he will have like there'll be like a game where, like, for example, he'll just rocket a ball into the top corner of the goal. Yeah, all good and nice. Then there'll be a game where, like, he might be crossing well, or he's defending okay. But then there's games where the guy is an absolute shambles, bro. Like, and every single goal that we concede, majority of the time, like Jacob said, comes from his side. In that game, the goal that they scored came from his side. You understand? So the fact of the matter is like, yeah, even if you were to say, okay, cool, obviously he's a wing back, yeah. Even if you were to say, oh, you're playing wing back, I don't think it would even be anything different, bro. I'll be honest, bro. Because
Why don't you just
I don't think so,
Is that
bro.
what it is?
I don't.
Because
I think
when I watch him, it seems defensive duties is his problem. Offensively, he seems pretty fine going forward. But I could be mistaken. You lot watch more closely than me.
he's good going forward, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he can be good going forward. I wouldn't say it's every single time he goes forward he's that great. And if he wants to do that, then go and play right wing, bro. Forget even wing back, bro. Go and play right wing, bro. If you can't defend, you want to attack, bro. Go play right wing. Yeah, bro. Like, this is it, because he's like, for example, I promise you, if he was in, because in that United team that you have now, yeah. Obviously, he's been under, if I'm correct, he's been under Amarim before. Was it Amarim at the time he was there? I'm not too sure because I don't really.
Yeah,
check now.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
If you're saying it's them, you know.
So if he's been under Amarim before, obviously Amarim had him playing when he was there, innit? But the reality of the situation is, I can't lie, with the United squad, I feel like that Lisbon squad, there was a morale there when he was obviously playing with them, and then he was on form and doing whatever. But like I say, it's still different leagues. You understand? Every league has its own type of
every
style,
league has
let's
its own
say.
issues. Yeah, it's a style.
Yeah.
Every league has
It's like a
issues.
style, you get me? So you go to the La Liga, some players fit the La Liga more than they would fit the Premier League. Some players fit the Premier League
Like
more than they'll
Anthony?
fit. Yeah, basically the prime example. There we
Hey,
go.
Anthony,
Like
keep
Brian
balling
Hill?
out.
Even Brian, I was literally just about to say that, bro. If guys like Brian Gill and that, bro, you get, so it goes to show. So I feel like even if he was to go to United now and play under his previous manager that he was with before, I don't feel like he won't do any better than he's doing now, in my opinion. So that's why You get me? So that's why in this case, for me, Pedro Porro, bro, he just stinks, bro. He stinks, but it's like you go round in circles with him. It's like a what's it called? What do we call it in the UK? A roundabout where like he just goes spins, but you're doing the same thing every time. It may be good, then it may be bad, and then you feel sick at one point, and then you don't feel sick at one point, and that's how it is with Pedro Porro. So with Porro, I can't lie. I don't know, man. I don't even know whether to say do I want. I would rather, you know, I'd rather get another right back. Well, obviously we have Jed Spence, but I'd rather get like another right back, just a third choice right back who's decent in my opinion. Not saying that we should get rid of him. I'm just saying get a third choice right back that's decent, and then maybe it can make him up his game. Because I've seen with a lot of players, obviously with more competition, the more you'll work on your faults basically, or the areas that you're not good at. Let's just say, in my opinion. And then as for the other side, I'm a doggy. I think obviously the injuries are playing a part in maybe the performance, but even then, you could say before the injuries, he wasn't really having good periods. Well, he wasn't really having a good period then, but it wasn't as bad as maybe now, in my opinion. But that's with Adogi as well. As for the centre backs, Danso, from what I've seen so far, it's been calm and it's been decent. It's better than Dragusin, anyways, bro. I'll be honest, bro. Better than Dragusin. But yeah, man, it's been good with Danso. I think it's one of those ones where you just need that competition there. So people like Romero, people like Van der Ven, obviously will force them to, because it seems like I said on the last stream, it seems that Romero gets injured when he's playing for Tottenham and there's no international breaks, but all of a sudden when there's international breaks, the guy's ready to play and doesn't really get injured like that. So yeah, man, it's good to have a bit of competition in that centre back in that centre back place. And in the summer, I want more centre backs. I'll definitely want more centre backs. I don't feel like that's enough for me. I want one more centre back at least. And then as mentioned before, another right back in my opinion, and then left back as well, for me as well. But yeah, man, with the midfield, I think Bergvall played well. I agree as well. I don't think he played that bad. I just think Spurs fans, bro, they go for whoever they want to go for, and they're very reactionary as well. I think the midfield was all right. I just think we had a decent game. Like, to put it in context, I just think it was a decent game. I wouldn't say it was anything special, but it just shows that obviously the players can keep up with certain teams, if that makes sense. So the players can do a job, but but in context for me, I don't have too much on it. I just think it was a decent game for us, but not a bad game where I can blame Ange for everything. I think it was just one of those games. We had chances to get in the game. We had chances to maybe even that may, if we had taken, we may have even won the game. So you never know. But I can't blame Ange for anything, apart from, like I say, maybe that one selection, in my opinion. But yeah, that's what I'd say about it still. But I don't know what. I was gonna ask Jacob. I was gonna ask you a question. Yeah. Now, my question to you is this: is that if you were to, on that, obviously I think I know the answer, but on that right back and left back side, fully fit. What's it called? All three right backs. Sorry, all three players. Sorry, Dogi, Poro, Spence. Who are you gonna go with, and what sides would you play? Either would you play Spence on the left, or which one? What would you do?
It's funny you asked that because I actually made a cheeky comment on Twitter about it, saying I would start Jed at the left and
Yeah.
Spence on the right.
I was thinking what, and I just
Yeah,
realized what you
if
said.
I
Yeah.
could, I would, because I've continued to say for a minute here that if we had 15 Jed Spences, we would never lose, and it's a difficult question because for me, I think it depends on who we're starting ahead of them as well, because wherever we have the weaker defender. So if Son starts, I would prefer to see Jet on the left. If Brennan Johnson starts, I would prefer to see Jet on the right, because it's almost who do I need less help from? Who do I want to rely on less for defensive stuff? So again, like with Pedro Porro, if Brennan Johnson's ahead of Pedro Porro, we're gonna leak goals from that side. Just bottom line, we both know it, and I think you put Jed Spence there, it clogs that, it stops that leak. Same thing with the left. Sonny's not the greatest defender, and necessarily I don't want him defending as much. So if Son is starting, then I want Jed Spence on the left. So for me, I guess it varies. But either way, you wrap it up, it's gonna have to have Jed Spence in it for me because he is our best player, hands
No,
down.
definitely. I agree. Still, I think for me as well, I would go with I'll be real. I'll go with Jed on the right, even though Adogi's like not in the greatest of form. I'll go with Jed on the right and him on the left. But I'll just do that. The only difference between me and you is I can't lie. I'll just do it every time because I just don't give a toss about this Pedro Porro guy. I'll be honest, man. I feel like he just needs to hold the bench, but I'm tired of seeing this guy on the field and he can't defend. And every minute it's just jockey, jockey, jockey. You can't even put a foot in. As a right back, I feel like the minimum that you should be able to do is at least put a foot in. One of the differences that I've
Yeah.
seen with him and then obviously other teams is that he puts other teams, when you look at their right backs, they put a foot in. Jed Spence does it as well. He puts a foot in. He never puts a foot in. This guy does the lazy part of defending, which is jockey, jockey, jockey to make it look like you are doing something, but you're really not. And the jockey is just basically the more you jockey, the closer the winger gets to the box. And the whole point of a defender is to stop the winger from getting as close to the box as possible. That's the basics of right back for me, being a right back for me. Don't let stop the winger from getting as close to the box as possible, and then also stop the winger from putting in a cross. Those are the two things for me, minimum that you should do. You should be able to do as a right back, and he can't do either one. And this is why I say that it goes back to games like getting ripped by Trossard. That Cruyff turn that Trossard did in that game, yeah, he slipped in that, but it just goes to show the reason why he slipped was you're doing jockey, jockey, jockey. Instead of putting a
Hmm.
foot in, you've jockeyed and then you've slipped, and then it's made you a whole meme, and that meme will live on forever until the day you leave this earth. So this is the thing, bro.
But even
Like I said,
Doku put a body on him. But
this is
even
it.
Savino with Destiny, I love Destiny. The home shirt that I bought this year has 13 on the back. So I rate him. I just defensively, I don't think that he's shined this season either. I mean, I go back to
Yeah,
what was it? Minty cooked him.
yeah.
There was some dude Fatawu. I'd never heard of Fatawu before he cooked Destiny, and then so it's like I think both have been a liability. But if I had to pick one without like being able to fluctuate my answer, I would agree with you though. I would pick Destiny on the left over Pedro on the right.
Yeah, definitely. That would be what I would do myself. The only thing what I'll say to the Destiny one is that I think I'm not gonna give it's I'm not trying to make an excuse of the different opinions, but I'll say with Destiny, I think it's one of those ones where he plays, he played quite a lot as well. He's played quite a few games as well. I think obviously Destiny at one point left back wise was one of the with the left back choices in the Premier League aren't that great anyways. But obviously there was a point where he was like the best left back for the most informed left back, let's say. I don't want to say best. I'm not an Arsenal fan. How them lot scream this guy's the best and that, but obviously he was like the most informed. You get he was the
I
most
like that.
informed left back, bro. He was the most informed left back at a point. So I feel like if he was
I did
in
that
that,
last year for what it's worth. Exactly what you described to Arsenal. I
Yeah,
did. I say he's the best
we
in the
got
world.
surprised.
Yeah, I said he's top 3 in the world. Alfonso Davies move over. Theo Hernandez make room.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I
was
can't
doing all
even.
that.
That
Yeah,
consign all
I
that.
can't even do that one still. But he was the most informed left back at a point. So if he gets to that type of form again, then you get me. I can't lie. Pedro Porro, even when he was in form for me, bro, I was still seeing that jockey, jockey, jockey. So you get me, bro. I can't. Me personally, it's a Jet Spence right back, Madogi left back, and Pedro Porro can hold bench, bro. I'll be honest, man.
And yeah, hey Solomon, you right. De Niro goated for the licks at Arsenal, man. I respect it. I rate it so highly. You already know. Good truth. Rate it so highly. Rate it so highly. Yes, Jess. What you saying, fam? You good?
No, man, bro.
Cheers.
What we saying, man? What we saying?
Oh, bless, man. We were talking well. Yeah, actually, let's get your thoughts on it as well before we go to the question De Niro asked Jacob, which was a good one about the fullbacks. Thoughts on the City game, the result, performances, who impressed, who stressed? Talk to us.
I'll be honest, bro. Like, you know me,
What you
bro.
seen?
I ain't
Highlights.
been like
Yeah.
highlights and that, yeah, bro. Like, I mean, I did predict the loss because, like, I always say, like, even though we are City's bogey team, I always go into this game saying that we're losing because one thing, yeah, we might be the bogey team, but one thing City always do is they perform actually quite well against us, but they just can't get the W. Like, so we end up in a situation where we sometimes draw the game or sometimes win the game even. But lost, not really surprised to be honest. I mean, Haaland had to come back for this game. All the games prior to that, he injured, and then for the Spurs game, he comes back. But now, from the bits that I saw in the first half, looked like the team was getting buttered. Couldn't really get going. But then the second half, I don't know what happened. Switch happened. Because even at 1-0, you can maybe say, yeah, City didn't take the game as seriously because Spurs wasn't playing well in the first half, but it's still 1-0. And we know how if you're a player who has played this fixture a lot of times, you would know that this the results can quickly change. So I don't think City didn't treat this game like in the second half as like we're just gonna do what we just did in the first half. So yeah, and then I saw us just miss chances, didn't take our opportunities. On the balance of play, from what I've seen, it should have been at least a 2-1 win for City would have been deserving. So I'm not necessarily saying that we deserve to win or anything, but you know how you talk about United being Ponzi scheme MC and all this type of stuff, and I felt like this was a type of game where like City is missing these chances. Try scam and draw, but again couldn't just put the ball in the back of the net. To be honest, this is just what I saw. To be honest, of the game, and just not really surprised to be honest. Obviously, there's obviously players that we conversation about. Obviously, big up the Italian stallion, Vicario, making saves when he had to make saves. I know we had conversations about Kingsley earlier in January, but this is why I also remained mostly consistent in terms of like Kingsley and really impressed in the early stages. But for me, I always said until Kingsley, I had to see how Kingsley does before. I had to see how Kingsley does before Vicario comes back, and he didn't warrant a place for me where I thought he deserved to stay in the goal. And so since Vicario has come back, he hasn't put some good performances in my opinion from what I've seen. So happy with him. Obviously, we played also Ipswich during the weekend, so I feel like I put both performances into this place. I mean, I've seen the young guys, like I see Gray doing his thing, I've seen Lucas doing his thing. I'm a fan of Dancer. I think just bring something different in terms of like Spurs centre back at the moment in time, and I feel like seeing an actual centre back just feel like you can see the difference in my opinion, me personally. Yeah, I mean, underperformance. I think at the moment in time, I think again, Paul. I knew that when Doku had to come up against Paul, this wasn't going to be a nice game, and I felt like this was a type of game where like I felt you put if you want to put Gray at right back, put Spencer at right back, because I felt like when Doku comes on, like we make our jokes. I don't necessarily rate Doku like that, but one thing he has is pace and can get past the play. We saw that against Trent just on the weekend. So when you know who Pedro Torres is a player,
that pitch is hilarious. Yo, it's that legs swinging on the chair that makes it even funnier. Sorry, go on.
So but when you know what type of player you're coming up against, I felt like you could have used a different player in that situation. But then at the same time, when you saw the front three going into the game, Kulusevski benched, Sunset benched. And I don't think they got benched because they've been terrible or anything like that. I think generally because when you actually go and look at it, these guys have been playing technically the whole season. Without any sort of level of rotation.
Jacob was saying that as well.
So for me, I'm looking from a place where like I don't think they got benched because they're playing bad. Yeah, they've been playing bad and maybe in the moment and current time, but you can also look at it from a different perspective of they needed to be benched because they're playing way too many games. And the game against ASET is a more important game in my eyes than the City game, because the league season is done anyway. At this point, it's more about just trying to find some dignity and don't go outside. Yeah. This is the way I look at it, and trying to find some momentum in the league that can help you maybe into the Europa League. So I'm not necessarily looking at them as bench because they're playing so bad. I thought Oliver was bright, which I wanted to just all the time see. Just somebody who comes into the team here who can come in the left wing and just be different to what Sam does. Just be different. Obviously, there's something that I wanted to talk about. The main talking point in terms of for me was going to be Matthis Tel, because there's some criticism that I've been seeing, and yeah, I feel like before I even go into his defense, I do say there's some points that I do share in the aspect of the fact that being like when you came first and foremost, you rejected us the first time. So Spurs fans gonna have that thing about them that we have to overdo it because he didn't want to join the first time. Me, I don't really personally care because at the end of the day he did join in this. And when you had the conversation, you would imagine they would have had the conversation if you come in to play striker. Now, when everybody was asking me just what position do you think Tel's position is the best, whether it was United fan, an Arsenal fan, Chelsea fan, or Tottenham fan, because all those four clubs were interested in him, I told you, he's a left winger. This guy didn't play striker because I've been following him since Rennes, when he was in the academy. Okay. He didn't play striker at Rennes. He didn't play striker at Bayern Munich, and now he's playing striker at Tottenham. There's a 19-year-old player who we expect to know come in 6 months without any sort of level of momentum coming to a loan. It's not like he was playing multiple games for Bayern off the bench, but he was fed up with the amount of game. No, this is a player who technically comes in cold, and then you have to then you bring in a player who's not a striker, who can play striker. But he's not a striker. And I kept saying this to people. It's the narrative, these Taticos or the people in the Spurs fan base, they're all talking about. Now this is a striker. This is a striker. And I keep telling you, this is a left winger because I'm a Bundesliga correspondent on here. I watched the Bundesliga. I literally just came watching that Stuttgart Bayern Munich game.
Final score, by the way, please, in that before you carry on.
3-1 Bayern. Bayern is 11 points clear, but Liverpool's got a game in hand now.
Okay.
But yeah, and so I watched the Bundesliga, and I've been following Matthis Tel. And when you see all these, even when you watch his highlights, for somebody that maybe doesn't watch Bayern Munich a lot, all of his best work comes from the left-hand side when there has a fullback overlapping to help him out. So I'm looking at Spurs, and I'm looking at the manager in terms of, and more so Spurs than the manager, but also the manager in terms of why did we identify him as a player to come in to play striker, in my opinion. Because Colomani was the first option that we wanted to bring in. He chose Juve, understandable. Juve, bigger club. They were at the time of playing in the Champions League.
Bigger at cheating.
I mean,
bigger at scandals.
I mean, bigger. I mean, I don't know what
bigger in a smaller time. Bigger fish in a smaller pond. I could do this all day.
Put some
respect on my club.
Obviously, no. I'm just somebody you can just. No, I'm just saying it because we all know what I'm talking about. Anyways, going back to what I was saying before.
Yeah, I know it's not the first guy to go to Juve over us. I agree. I just want to talk shit.
But now, so Colomani was a no, and that was midway through January, and then late in the window. But keep in mind, at that time, Tel didn't want to leave Bayern Munich, so it was kind of like a 5-day window left. But he decided, you know what? Let me leave Bayern. He plays the last Champions League game that they played in January, and then he says, "Yeah, I'm out of here." So a player who's been cold for so long, a player who wasn't even decided really to want to leave the football club to begin with, I'm just looking at it from a perspective of panicking. This is a guy that we brought in for the panic, and I even at the time called it out that it was panic that we was trying to bring him in because we knew if it wasn't Tel, it was nobody who was going to come in for that time. We even tried to go for Leon Bailey, but at that point they sold the run already. They didn't want to let go another attacker anymore. So, Tel needs to do better in certain aspects because he knew when he was going to come in, he's going to play striker. Maybe if Solanke comes back, which I think is a very big miss to this team, maybe you're going to see more times him at left wing. But then the question mark is, will we see a situation where the manager puts then him in the best situation where you have an overlapping fullback to support him? Because this is not a wing. Because in the same time, this is not a winger that can come in and play touch on the touchline on a consistent basis. This is somebody who wants to work in the half spaces near the striker, cutting inside. Sometimes you can do the touchline thing, but more so than not, you want him to be able to get to go with his ability on the 1v1 situation. So for me, it's like I feel like the criticism that I've seen is crazy for me in terms of from the fan base. Some people may disagree. Some people say you chose to be here. No, this is your role. But I'm not. I'm looking football from a bigger sample. I don't consider just because you were brought to play a certain position doesn't mean all of a sudden I expect you to play 10 out of 10, 8 out of 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. No,
of course.
I'm gonna be realistic. It's like me saying you're not. First, you play. For example, your team plays a 4-3-3. You identify a left winger who at the strongest position is left winger. Ganache should start at left wing, but then I'm replacing a striker. Wouldn't you not be upset about it, or wouldn't you have a thought? What are we doing here? So
Yeah,
for
of
me,
course,
it's like
I have that with my manager, so I get you. Trust me.
So for me, I'm looking at it from the situation where like it was a deal of desperateness. So I'm not even mad that he's currently playing striker. I'm not mad because at the end of the day, I'm just more realistic about what the situation is.
He said that he talked to Ainge and that they had a very clear 2-hour discussion about how he was going to use him and what he liked about him.
And this is where I mentioned before I came into the defense of Matthis Tel, I said that you would have had a conversation with the manager, knowing what your role was going to be for these next six months coming up, potentially even further after the 6 months. So
he said it. That was in his interview.
So from there on, the criticism that you're going to get for playing striker, I can't do this all game when I say you're not a striker. I'm gonna still criticize you on your performances at striker, but in the same time, I'm not surprised that he's performed like this as a striker because he never played striker in his career on a consistent basis.
So you're not surprised that he's performing poorly, type of thing. Which
I'm not surprised because again, it's a player that I follow. It's like me saying Madison's play. It's like me saying I'm buying Madison to play number 10, but then I've seen consistently play at the number 6 deep line playmaker. You came to the football club, you agreed to play deep line playmaker, but I saw your whole career and you're playing the number 10. So why you want to do this? So for me, I'm looking at it from two sides of things, and me personally, I wouldn't buy him this summer because I'm looking at it from the situation where we have too many left wingers already. You don't want to, unless somebody gets sold in the summer at left wing, I wouldn't buy him. I would rather use the 60 million to go and buy a right winger, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean I don't rate Matthis Tel. I think he's a really good player, and I saw the things at Bayern. And at the moment in time, it's not easy to go ahead of Jamal Musiala, a Leroy Sane, a Coman, a lot of players who are on high wages who are forced to play.
That's fair. Before you carry on, Jacob, I know you got to dip out shortly. You lot, make sure you subscribe to Jacob's channel, United Spurs of America. The link is in the title. United Spurs of America, links in the title. Click the link in the title, open up a new tab, and then go subscribe to Jacob's channel. Jacob, first and foremost, scoreline prediction. For you lot play Alkmaar away, Europa League. Yeah, that's your next game next week. Well, next Thursday. Yes.
Yeah.
Alkmaar away in the Europa League. Early kickoff, 5:45 p.m. Same time as ours. I want to watch y'all's game as well. It's the same time.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Our away form isn't great, and last time we played AZ, we beat them 1-0 off of a penalty. So, let them give me a 1-0 again. I'll take another 1-0 away from home. I think it might not be a 1-0. I think it'll be more open and it'll be more bang bang. And I think it'll probably be something closer like a 2-1 maybe for us, 2-2 kind of a thing. We conceded chances for them last time at our own ground. They just failed to capitalize on them like a lot of teams seem to do. And I'm not filled with the most confidence, so I'm kind of glad that the second leg is taking place at hard ground because, it's a tough one.
No, fair. So you're saying, all right.
But
cool.
you want
So
You want to Bournemouth? I guess we play Bournemouth as well before our next one, right?
Ooh,
No,
let's
no,
see.
no,
Nah,
no. We're playing the Europa League game, and then
Europa
because
League, and then the
this weekend,
Friday
yeah, because this
Oh,
weekend is
okay.
this
FA
week is
Cup.
FA Cup.
Good. Give me time to buy some cherries from the grocery store so I can smash them fuckers on cam.
Okay, all right. Let them know what you got coming up on your channel over the
It's
weekend.
a true 6-pointer
next week.
versus them damn
Next
cherries.
week.
All right.
What you got
Bust their
coming up on your
dreams.
channel,
Bring
Jacob?
them on. Bring them on.
Yeah, sorry about the shorter appearance today. I usually like to try and stay for the entirety of the show, but I've got a new show with Staffy that we're doing tonight,
Love that.
and so yeah, we're gonna try and do like a little weekly thing. Who knows what day, but today was the day at work this week, so we're gonna try and do like either previews or reviews and just talk about general stuff and see where the combo
man.
goes. So I got that coming up. I don't know. Saturday and Sunday, there's no Tottenham Hotspur this weekend, so my weekend can't get ruined. I'm wondering maybe I should like enjoy it with my family. Maybe I should go to the
There we
park.
go.
Maybe I should,
There we go.
touch some grass. So
Yes.
I don't know what's coming up this weekend, but maybe I'll do like a late night stream or a music stream or something, just farting around on the keyboard. We'll see. We'll see. But if you hit the notification bell, that's the key part. I'm not this aloof and unprepared and unplanned, and it's all on purpose to get people to hit that notification bell, because if I don't
It's
have a
what makes
schedule,
you.
how can I tell you it?
Streets never forget balling, man. Told you. Your streets never forget content creator. You're gonna pick up the ball in your own box and try and make the striker. That's you. You know what I'm saying, in a nutshell.
Sonny showed me the way versus Burnley, you know.
That is you. You know what I'm saying, without doubt. Telling the manager let me go in there. That is just you in a nutshell. I hear it. But you
Hey,
make
but
sure
big
you
up everybody.
subscribe
Make
to
sure
the
y'all
next
hitting the
episode.
like. I appreciate you always inviting me on as always.
Of course, man.
And I managed to get through an hour long on Sarcasm City without having to hear a certain name, a couple certain names, but there's one that's been hurting a lot more than usual.
See, there we go. See, this is a safe space. That's why, man. You
Nice.
safe in the city.
It's good because
safe in the
when I was watching the playback, it wasn't. There was no safety. It was
Nah,
just
there's no safe. Playback is
just
the
crime.
hood. There's no safe. That's the
it
unsafe.
was just crime.
Yeah. That's just pure
You
crime.
Lock your
no
doors
way.
when you drive past that little
No,
part.
it's just for tour, man. Like for tour. Like don't worry, man. We deal with him. Don't worry about it.
That being said, Lakers
Alright.
Clippers this tonight, people. On the
Oh,
playback.
that'd be a good one. I'll have to tune
Yeah,
in.
Lakers-
I'm gonna be.
yeah,
I thought I was gonna have the day off, but it turns out I got called into work. So
It's cool, man.
I'll be tuning in whenever y'all go live.
Yeah. Be live.
But luckily, I won't have to spam the chat with my
we don't
anti-Nico
need that.
propaganda.
We just want you to be blessed and chilled out at work, man, and get your bread.
You
and do your
want my top 5? No, never mind. We'll leave it there. All right,
playback.
big up.
That's for the playback. That's for the
Yeah, I'll
playback.
save it for the playback. Big up, y'all.
Blessings, Jacob. You lot, make sure you subscribe to United Spurs of America, and that's exactly what he is, man. United Spurs. He is a streets never forget content creator. You don't know what he's gonna do. I'm saying he's one of the most unpredictable content creators out there. Probably the most. Sorry, go on, just go on.
You know what? What's it called? Obviously, because obviously before Jacob left and before I ended my dialogue, obviously you wanted to obviously talk about the fullback situation at Spurs as well.
Yeah, it's because
listening
De
in.
Niro had a great question as I was going,
Yeah.
because he was like, "What to?" For actually, I let De Niro ask you the question. Go ask it better than me.
Oh, cool.
De Niro, hold the question in regards to it. He'll be able to ask you better than I can.
Man, what was I saying? I was saying, so if all three fullbacks, Poro, Adogi, and Spence at their best form, what two fullbacks are you going with on the right and the left?
All three are the best form for me. It's
Yeah.
it's going to be Adogi and Spence, because even though I can't like I'm probably more in the minority when I say I don't think Paul is actually a bad player. I don't think he is, but I just don't think this playing him necessarily in the 4 is necessarily something that you want to see. You want to be somewhat. You want him to be relaxed when he knows he has to come back and defend. You want somebody who can support on all costs. And when you, especially with the way we play, you know, his side of the pitch can get easily exposed. Even if you play as well, even if you were to say, let's know what, and all of the sudden revolutionarily changes his tactics and he goes instead of high line, he goes into a mid block. I'm still worried about Paul, because even at his best, because we saw what Doku did to him, bro. Like, and I've been saying this for a long time, is that I'm not a fan of seeing my players getting bitched like that. to put it in the way. I can't see my player flying around, circling around, doing splits, even when they're playing at their best. Like, and even when Paul plays his best, I think he's a really good player. But is it worth it having a player where you have to sacrifice a lot in terms of helping out, having guys not having to worry about him, like holding his hand and basically what I'm saying. And I feel like when Adogi plays at his best, as we saw last season, and even to be honest, glimpses this season, in my opinion, you see the physicality, you see just the power behind his play. And this, I mean, you see him what you see him with Spence right now in terms of he's just playing his best football. Right? Like again, is able to take on this man. It's fine. I wouldn't say this inverting thing is a thing for him, but he's fine doing it at the moment of time. Strong dribbler of the ball, so strong carrier of the ball, which I think is a really necessary, which I think is a very important trait to have in my opinion. As a footballer in general, especially when you play in those positions in midfield or defense, I feel like if you can carry the ball, I think it's such a big trait. And what helps as well is he's very in the final third. You've seen he's already chipped in with a couple of goals. I know he can find a man when he gets to the opportunity to go and cross the ball in or pass the ball. So I feel like at the best, you want to see Udogie and Spence because I feel like it adds more physicality and more security, even when you play a high line or when you have to sit back. You know you can trust both of them, but again, it's one of them as well. Like, at the moment in time, only Spence at the moment in time looks like who's playing to a consistent level. But you ask yourself the question: when does he stop playing to a consistent level? There's also something that I think we have to think about. That's why it's really hard for me. Like I rate what Spence is doing, and Spence is getting all the love, and deservedly so considering what he's been going through. But when the time comes when he's not in this form anymore, are we gonna just throw him away as the fan base does? Like I'm seeing the take that I've seen about Udogie, and I'm not even saying about the criticism about his performance because they're rightfully so. But I'm seeing the people who are overdoing it in my opinion. Same with Poe in terms of like I feel like more of his criticism is more warranted. But when he has great games, it feels like it's hard for people to give him credit for. So it's kind of like, as the whole Spurs team in itself, consistency is a big issue, and it has been an issue for so many years. So yeah, like it's hard for me to even like these days. People ask me what's my favorite 11. I don't know because the midfield is never consistent. The defense and goalkeeper is the consistent part about the team, but. Which is funny because when you even go and look at how many goals we have conceded, we are actually a lot better in terms of goals conceded compared to last season with the injuries that we had. But
your defensive record in the league is not too bad on paper.
It's not like
only conceded fair.
Look at Villa and look at our records in terms of the league, and look at how differently Villa is spoken to compared to us.
Yeah, because Villa conceded, they're 45. You conceded the same amount of us. How the hell are you not 13th if you scored 53 and scored 39? But then again, because man said, you might score goals in spurts.
Yes, and be inconsistent. This is what happens when you actually do. That's why, in my opinion, you can see the positive about Ants football, and I feel like Ants football can be good in this league, but it requires high level of consistency and high quality. That's why you find yourself in situations where you score goals, you actually keep the goal, you keep the ball off the goal a lot better. But it requires so much to make it work in Tottenham as well. But you don't get the backing like that. It's very hard to pull this off as a manager. That's why he's under the criticism that he's at, and deservedly so. So I'm not even in the defense, but yeah, man, it's difficult. I know I just wobbled about talking about the whole team, but going back to what we just were, best fullbacks, best form, Udogie and Spence for me.
Okay, that's fair. And De Niro, going back to you, any more confident going into the game against Alkmaar, or is it the same, or is it less confident? Bear in mind, your form has picked up despite the result at Manchester City.
I'm more confident in the fact of, obviously, certain players have come back in it. So, obviously, as much as I criticize Anja and this Anja out, what's it called? with certain players coming back, I think we can still pull results. Because I'll give him that. That obviously, let's be real. I say it with every manager. Even though I didn't rate like Ten Hag, I didn't rate a lot of guys. Even with them, no matter what, even though they're bad, there's still that aspect of the players. You didn't have certain players that were around, so certain results you may have picked up, you didn't pick up because of that as well, which went hand in hand with you not being making the greatest decisions. But like we always say, having certain players can help get results because sometimes the players will take charge of the game regardless of what the managers taught or done. There's certain players that can just grab a game, like Mo Salah, for example, can grab a game by the scruff of the rough. So even though Arnie Slot is showing good signs as a manager, that's not lie. Mo Salah being in there is playing a big part in there as well, because it may be a little bit different if he wasn't there. So same ways with Ange, certain players are coming back in. Obviously, I expect to see better results in that case. So you get me. Is we've got Odebear back. You know what I mean? Adogi. You got the obviously Poro's always kind of been fit anyways. Then obviously you've got Danso as well in the centre back position. So we don't have to trust in people like Dragerson and that. Who I think he's still injured. I don't know if he's still injured or not. I don't really care. And then yeah, man, like literally, yeah, just people coming back. And obviously, I think Romero, is it Romero? I think he should be back soon as well. So there's a
He's
couple
back in
players.
training.
Yeah. See, so yeah, there's a couple players that are coming back that should help us to pick up more results. So in my opinion, this sounds mad what I'm about to say, as much as I cuss Spurs a lot. In my opinion, if majority of these players can come back, we could definitely, if we can we could definitely focus on trying to get results in the Europa League. Innit? Like it's not like a you can't win that. In my opinion, if I'm being honest, it's not a you can't win it, because if I'm a United fan, I'm looking at that and thinking, bro, I should. There's a chance here. As a Spurs fan, even though our teams, like I say, they're dead, but there's still a chance. There's still a chance there, and if we're being realistic, there's a chance there. Because in these type of draws, you just got to pick up results, hope that you get a draw against the decent side of the fixtures that are in front of you, and then next thing you know, bang, you're in the final, and that's it. So we've seen it happen in enough competitions, where cup competitions, where certain teams who were not expected to get to the final, they get to the final. So I don't see why not, if majority of these players can come back, because it puts competition in there as well. Because obviously, if majority of them come back as one, that's competition right there. You understand? Because we're seeing the competition now in the midfield, where Basuma's getting benched, Sar's getting benched, and then Madison's getting benched, and then some of them are starting, and then some of them are coming on, some of them are not. So that's even good, because then it's like when they now come on the field, it's your chance to show why you deserve to be the starter. So yeah, man, I believe we should go into these next few fixtures, if everybody stays fit, with some type of hope. Like I say, you got the Tel thing now, where if Solanke can come back at a decent time, then of course you can put that competition for Tel or the Bear and anybody else who's a winger on that left side, and even on the right side, same thing. You understand? You can do that competition there with Brennan Johnson, the Kulus, the everybody. So the more players, the more chance, because the more competition and the more people want to play and not feel too comfortable. Not feel too comfortable in their positions, thinking they're just going to be in the starting lineup every week. That's why I'm happy with the Jed Spence performances, because it puts pressure on Edogi, it puts pressure on Pedro Porro to now want to perform. You understand? So it's good, man.
Right. What you saying, just like, in regards to Alkmaar? Because you someone who's been confident beforehand drawing them, like initially. So what you saying?
Nah, man. Look, I know. I've been saying obviously how I've not been rating what the season has been in terms of where we've been, the narratives, players, the manager, how disappointed I've been in terms of how the season has went. But I've been always saying this, man. There's an opportunity to get to the final. I keep saying, on Man United's side, so you can't we can't have a Premier League situation until the final, potentially. There's very hard games, even after you have to play ASET, if you can beat ASET. in Frankfurt, and even Ajax. Preferably, you want to play Ajax. Big up, Mikes.
Big up everyone in the chat. I see you lot, man. Shouts to everyone in the chat. Carry on.
But preferably you want to play Ajax than Frankfurt. But again, there's an opportunity right there. And I said, for me, this is kind of what I've been saying sometimes when I've seen United fans say giving up the season. I'm like, why you want to give up the season when there's a legitimate chance for the Europa League? Obviously, you're still in the FA Cup. Let's see what's happening there, obviously, because you're playing Fulham. But which is kind of funny because these last Fulham games, I've been watching them. Fulham deserve to be winning all these or so, but they can't pull out the win. So it happens. So United probably going to win that game, in my opinion. But going back to us, show us there's some, like, for me, all I can ask the players and the manager is, and obviously Danilo said players are coming back, which is very important for us because it gives a situation where we can actually make substitutions now. Like, I think for the last change the game, because the last 2 to 3 weeks I've been taking screenshots of our bench every game and co-tweeting the team, and then only crop the bench. I'm literally seeing academy goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, and attackers, and maybe one first teamer. So it's hard to bring these guys on. Even though we did, but it's not ideal. So the player coming back, show us what you can do. If you guys have any sort of pride about yourself, as you as the manager, you as the players, show us against ASEC. Away record is not necessarily great, I agree. And even when we played them the first time, they gave us a lot of trouble. But we even then had back then already injuries during that game. So, and we rotated in that game too. So away, I'm looking at I'm saying 1-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be like a 1-0 loss. But I think what's going to happen is that there's going to be a 1-0 loss, but I think you can go away there with a 1-1 result, considering you're not playing on the weekend as well. So you have extra rest as well. And then make sure you bring this tie. Whatever result it is, make sure you bring that tie back home and you win it at home. It's as simple as that. You don't want to go out. You don't want to go out in the round of 16 in front of the fans. You don't want that.
No,
so
you definitely don't want that. 100%.
So 100%. Yeah, man. Like, I genuinely think that it's an opportunity, but it's all about the managers, all about the players wanting it, because it's not the Champions League. We're not like Arsenal, who we have to play PSV, and then if you beat PSV, you're playing one of the Madrid. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, like, you might as well, like, you see Arsenal already plan for next season. Forget the league season, forget the Champions League. Plan for the next season.
Right, but they got that F8 now. Never mind. Sorry, carry on.
That's like all the cowboy. Nah.
Yeah, carry on. Yeah, never mind.
So for me, but there's a legitimate chance for a run to the final if you can get it together. And the form was picking up, like, prior to the City loss. Yes, you look at the opposition, but considering how bad we have been, 3 games in a row in the Premier League that you have won, it's a really good thing. So I want you to continue that versus Bournemouth, where you can say, you know what, okay, City, even though they've been bad, we've been bad too. So you can understand losing to them. And you rested players, so you knew you kind of wasn't really. You tried to get a result, but you didn't prioritize that result. So I want to see you then next week continuing trying to pick up home again against Bournemouth, who have dealing with the injuries as well. So it's not like an excuse where, like, they're fully healthy, they're rolling in that. Nah, they have injuries too. So I'm expecting to win there. If I'm honest, I'm not saying that we're gonna win, but I'm expecting to win. And ASEC, try and leave that stadium with a 1-1, because they have some good players in that team.
No, first, and before we switch lanes, you lot continue to run up the likes. Make sure you subscribe to Jacob's channel, United Spurs of America. Links in the title. Hit the subscribe button. On the Manchester United side of things, before I get to the Europa League, of course, we play the FA Cup game against Fulham, and yeah, it's must win. Get the dub. A performance would be nice, but I ain't even asking for a good performance. It's results based, because our form's been so bad and our performances have been so bad and results have been so bad and everything has just been terrible. Jez just mentioned that Arsenal have nothing to play for. Manchester United still have 2 cup competitions we are in and still have them very much to play for. Now, are we favourites for any of those competitions? No. Are we top 2, top 3, top 5 in any of those competitions? In my opinion, no. But United have been here before so many times. Go scam one or both of these trophies, and that's the aim. Like against Fulham, the amount of time we played Fulham twice this season already, 2-1-0 wins. Two teams that are just mid teams. But I say Fulham are better. I'm not even going to argue you down. And it'll probably be more of the same at Old Trafford on Sunday. I'm hoping it's slightly different because one thing the manager has done, Amorim has done, is played different players in the cup competitions. And he said as much as well a couple of weeks back. Said it a few weeks back where he said, I'm going to rotate with the amount of games we got coming up. So I hope so. I believe there was an FA Cup youth game yesterday now for Manchester United. And
yesterday
was
United.
Yeah, there we go. And United won. So
sorry, my bad. Versus Arsenal.
Arsenal.
You know what? United knocked Arsenal out as well.
Yeah, man. So we beat Arsenal again. You know what I'm saying? Not them out of a cup competition again. You know, it's just the United way. And I believe Cheeto didn't play, which means he's in line to be in the squad. I just hope he gets a start. I ain't trying to see 0012. Legit. Play Cheeto. I want to see more youngsters out there and see how it is. Yeah, like that's what the aim is. I'm not trying to see Onana. Hopefully Onana don't play. Hopefully 0012 don't play. We don't see 0015 either. Dalot probably is going to play. The captain's probably going to play. I ain't trying to see Maguire, but knowing this manager, he'll probably play him. And these players are going to continue to cost you. I ain't trying to see Onana, not in the slightest. Play whoever.
I heard you have injuries, no?
Yeah, but we got a 21-year-old goalkeeper that was on the bench. He's 21 playing.
Oh, okay, now, because I thought you didn't have one. My bad.
Nah, Bayern is injured. Tom Heaton is injured, but we have 2 goalkeepers on the bench. One's 21, one's 19. Play the 21-year-old. You're not a kid. You're 21 years old. Play him.
I tried to tell you, man. Like, this is not even get people say, "Oh, Jesse, you're racist." Oh, you're racist. I'm black, and this is black on black crime. This is what you call.
This is black on black crime. Whatever he's about.
And I've been saying, bro, like, I always say, I don't want to see a black keeper at my football club. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, keepers. There's no black person that I know that grew up wanting to be a goalkeeper. Obviously, most players don't want to be. But I know there's some Belgian guy who's looking at Courtois and said, I want to be like Courtois. I know there's Danish players like, I want to be like Kasper Schmeichel. I want to be like his father, Peter Schmeichel. You know what I'm saying? But who's the greatest black keeper you ever have known?
Probably
and he was probably who?
Dida. You don't know?
I don't even know. No, I don't know who that is.
He played for AC Milan. He was in there.
Yeah, Dida, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't even know him.
Man, my fishing status. Man, don't know Dida. Yeah, he played in when they won the Champions League in 03, no 05, whatever year it was under Carlo Ancelotti. Like he played with Kaka and Pirlo and Gattuso. He was in that side.
I'm telling you, this is the first time I heard his name. I've never heard his name before.
Dida, Brazilian goalkeeper. I think he won a World Cup as well. I think so.
I have to.
Don't get misunderstood. He wasn't fantastic. He was good goalkeeper. Good goalkeeper.
Also, this is what I'm trying to say. Like we
go back 20 odd years.
This is what I'm trying to say. So I've been trying to prove that point, and the point keeps getting proved to me. Like this is what I'm saying. So like Onana, he falls into that bracket, and my Lord in heaven. Like I watched the highlights of all the games, to the Arsenal game, because there was literally no highlights. But boy, oh boy, that guy tried to solve the game. Like he said, bro, I'm making sure everything in my power, United is not getting 3 points in this. But then Ipswich, man. I mean, which is funny because we go back to the conversation. It's like midweek that you had when you had to talk about on the Q&A. We expect Ipswich to go on a run. Really, like chat. Like where are the people? Because I haven't seen these people in the chat saying that they're gonna make a run.
I know it's that. Because if we had lost, they'd be here. And people want to live in their own misery. And don't get misunderstood. I say this all the time. Manchester United is terrible. The situation we are diabolical. The situation we are in is diabolical. But people always want to make it worse.
Exactly.
So what if Ipswich go on a run? What has convinced you Ipswich are going on a run? And are going to win 4 or 5 games in a row? And they've won 3 games all season. I believe they have some good players. I actually like the manager. They're entertaining to watch. But they don't win football matches. As we see. But all of a sudden, they're just going to... When have we ever seen that? It's rare. The 18th team who's won 30 games all season just wins. It hits end of February, start of March, and just goes on a run.
I mean, Luton should have done that, but that's for another day.
Yeah, that's another day. Yeah, sure.
That's for another day.
Joke, man. So yeah, it's how them people disappeared. And when we
Yeah.
do more Q&As, it's not. But had we had lost, oh Lord of mercy.
Well, just to say, oh
Lord,
we lost the 6 pointer.
Had we lost, and even if we would have lost, I think they were 10 points behind us anyway.
I know, but you know how, this is here where it starts. I said, nah, bro. Like these teams, that's what I always kept saying. Like Spurs was terrible this season, but we're not getting relegated. We just not. Like we're probably gonna be bottom half of the table. Is what it is. But yeah, man.
And that's it. And on to the end. So that again, our next 2 games are like that. Must wins. Nah, actually, I tell a lie. The Sociedad one is stay in the game. We just need to stay in the tie. As long as we come back to Old Trafford, if we win over there or over the moon, I'll take a draw right now. Because there's no away goals, it doesn't matter about what draw. 0-0, 1-1, 2-2, 3-3. If we can come back over here, even though our form's not been good, we just need to make sure the tie is alive. Because this team is more than capable of going there and losing 2-0, 3-0, 3-1 on some dumb shit. And then the tie is over. And what I need from United and Amorim in that tie against Sociedad is make sure the tie is alive. I'm not even trying to come back with a goal down deficit, because if they score early, because we concede early, we don't do clean sheets here. But then we're 2 down and it's a wrap. The tie has to be alive. It's not must win the Sociedad game, but to me, that first leg is definitely not lose. And I don't normally say that. If I rate my team, I normally go, all right, if we're a goal down with the second leg at home, we can overcome that. This team don't have the quality to do that. Yes, they've surprised me in the last 2 games and how they fought, but guess what? This ain't Everton and Ipswich. As much as Sociedad are not flying in La Liga, they're a better outfit than those 2. So therefore, it's going to be tough. Last thing we need is them coming to Old Trafford with any form of advantage. Fulham must win. Sociedad must not lose. Because our season could be over by Friday. We lose to Fulham, and then we lose 2-0, 3-1 to Sociedad, 3-0. Season's over. Literally. By this time next week, Manchester United season could be over. Or on the complete flip side, the confidence is through the roof, is jumping, and we have everything to play for. If we go and beat Fulham, if we go to Sociedad and not even necessarily win, draw 1-1, and the performance is half decent. Because most people expect us to get bad. And I can't even... giving me nothing to defend. And I fully blame Amorim for this. We're going to Real Sociedad. And I can't even sit here and say, hey, people are wrong for thinking we're going out. If someone says, I think the tie is over from the first leg, I hear it. Like, I can't even defend it. Prove them wrong. So it's like, don't have this season over by this time next week. Literally. Can't be all the 8th of March and the season's a wrap. Or 7th of March, I should say. It can't be. Legitimately, it can't be. But on the flip side, it can be all to play for, where we're through to the FA Cup quarterfinal. There's 3 other Premier League ties. So 3 Premier League sides are also going out. Alongside, if we knock out Fulham, that's 4. So, and you never know what upsets could happen as well in the other games too. Take advantage. Same with Sociedad. We managed to get a draw, even get a win. That puts the pressure on them. And then you through to the round of 16, which would be against... It'd be Star Bucharest or I think it's Lyon. They're the 2. Yeah. Lyon would be a tough tie. I'm hoping it's Star Bucharest because we played them. We'll beat them over 2 legs. I have no doubt. So I'm hoping Star Bucharest do the business, and we do the business, and then we see them. Then you through to the semi-final, which is then if it's Athletic Club or Roma, peak. This is 2 very, very difficult times. I'm hoping it's Rangers.
But then you know what? But on the flip side, you could look at it and say you're 2 games away from a final.
That's true. And 3 wins away from a final. Yeah, 2 wins away, particularly from winning the cup.
And the free to go and win it, and you know players' wages go up when you get to the Champions League because it's in contracts, and you want to be in the Champions League. And I think it's very important for United and even Spurs to find yourself in a situation where you can say you finish somehow 12th, 13th in the league, but you won the Europa League and your team's in the Champions League. It can impact you so much more than having to play 1 time a week. So
that's it.
That's what it is.
That's it. Don't have the season done by the time, like I said, this time next week, man. Don't have the season done by next Friday, even though it's Saturday.
Literally.
Like I'm not
By the way,
like
I have a question.
Nah,
Chevy.
man.
We're
Have
not.
hope, man. Have hope, bro. Have
Yeah,
hope, man.
as much as you do, Danae, as much as you do in your side,
Bro,
I got hope
listen,
in
have
mine.
hope, bro. Listen, I'm a rim to get me few results. Man City, get me, bro. Have
He's
some
done it.
hope,
He's
man.
done it. He has done. He has done that. That is the one. He is the only glimmer of hope. But that you see that glimmer is flickering. You know what I'm saying? It's a flickering
Yeah,
light in the distance, Danae, bro.
true.
But it's a flicker.
After Jess says what he wants to say, I need to chat about this
Yeah,
Hoyland, brother,
Yeah,
bro. I
yeah,
need to, I need
yeah,
to,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
Of
go,
course,
I
man.
go on,
We
go on,
gonna
man.
chat about 0012, man. Don't worry about it. Go on, Jez.
Now I want to quickly ask because obviously Dover
Go on.
got the red card, so is he gonna miss
He
Fulham?
misses the
That's the
next
two
three.
Premier League.
He
So
misses
Fulham
Fulham in the
included.
next 2 games. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
because I was thinking maybe it's just the next three
Probably.
Premier League matches.
Yeah, because it's domestic. Hey, chat, let me know. But I'm presuming it's
Because
because it's classed as. Yeah, because normally if you get sent off in the FA Cup, it won't be the next FA Cup game you miss. It's the Premier League
nice,
side.
yeah.
But
So
I'll
I'm
double
not just
check.
not. That's what
I'll
I'm
double check.
asking.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Go on, De Niro. Oh, sorry, go on, Jez.
no, say, okay, if he doesn't play the Fulham game, who's your wing back pair on
Yo, he's gonna
Team?
go back to fucking Maz and Delo, and he's gonna do that stripping. I can see it already.
Okay.
I can already see it. I'm just literally
Yeah,
googling
you,
it now.
can go. Yeah, you can go because that was literally my only question.
Yeah. I know it's gonna be
calm.
some daftness. Go on.
Yeah. So I need to. I was on what was it? I think it was. I
Is
don't
it my
know. It was
brothers?
on. I was on a platform, anyways. I was
Yeah.
watching something, and yeah, and I
Oh right.
think it.
Okay.
Can't remember who whipped in the cross. I don't know if it was Dogu
Euro.
or
It was
somebody.
Euro.
Euro, yeah, that's it.
Crouch
Yeah, Euro, that's the one. That's the
down.
one. Bro, I watched it and I can't believe this brother tried to dummy the ball. I just don't understand the brain cells that was going on there, bro. Like, it makes no sense. When I saw that, I said, I can't believe you just did that. You see, if he did that and I was in that team, I can't, like, when we get into the changing room, bro, we're scrapping, bro. What is that? That's ridiculous, bro. And the thing is, like, I actually tried to be like one of them people that was like an advocate for Hoyland. I'll be honest, like behind like because when he first came out, I could see like there was a bit of hunger. You get me? And then obviously when you lot played us, and then he scored that goal, the one where he smacked it into the rooftop of the net. I was thinking, all right, I mean, like this guy is not the best, but he's trying, innit? You get me? But bro, when you look at it like this, obviously I know confidence plays a part in football, innit? I understand that, but there's some things that is just lacking brain cells, bro.
Yep.
And that dummy was lacking brain cells. I don't. And then the thing is, people will then come out and say, "Oh, it's unfair the way people are cooking him. He's young." Brother, I don't care how young you are, whether you're 18, 19, or 17, and you come into the team. Don't ever dummy the ball in the box like that without even hearing a call from no one. If he licks that first time, you don't know what comes out of that. You've dummied it because you're too scared. You're scared that you're gonna mess it up, which you shouldn't be, because as a striker, the whole point is that you take shots. Take shots, that's all it is. When I was younger, I got told as a striker, just shift and shoot. When you get an opportunity, shoot. If it goes over the bar, it goes over the bar. But the more you shoot, the more you get it. You'll get out of it. And that's the issue that I think this guy has. Because the times where he has just hoped for the best and shot, it looks like it goes his way majority of the time. But you don't really do that. And then now when it's time, when you do shoot, there's no confidence in your shot at all. So for me, the best way to build confidence is just by shooting more. So even if it's a tight angle, yeah, you could have played the pass, but that's the risk you take as a striker. Just shoot. People like that get hated on a lot. The Nketiahs of the world. The reason why Nketiah got a lot of his opportunities was not shifting and shooting, but if there's an angle, a little tight angle, he'll still try to shoot. If there's a loose ball, he will still go for the ball, which is why he still gets his little bit of props. But you're not getting no props because you're not even scoring goals. You're not doing no loose goals. You're not poaching any goals, at least, even just to get in the little tap-ins. You're not doing that. Like the same way when Xerxes came, that first goal that he scored, the one where he just put his leg out and then it went in. That's the type of stuff this guy should be doing, and you're not doing it regularly. And I know, like, obviously, people have their criticisms saying Xerxes, da 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 da. But the difference between Xerxes and Hoyland is that you can actually see Xerxes can play football. This guy can't even do first touch, not there. Flipping, passing, not there. You understand? Xerxes, at least his first touch is there. He's a technical baller. Like, he can actually actually play with the football. This guy can't play with the football. It's similar to like Garnacho, bro. The reason why a lot of people don't rate Garnacho is not because they want to. Well, some people, obviously, I know they want to, but some people, it's not necessarily they want to hate him. But the fact of the matter is, the guy's first touch is not there. The
Facts.
guy, sometimes, like I say, he shoots and then it goes well. Sometimes he shoots and it goes completely wrong. But the
Absolutely.
point of the matter is that you can tell who's a footballer and who's not. Some
Absolutely.
people, like I say, Hoyland isn't for me. At first, I thought, yeah, but that you're so big, you can't even hold up the ball. I don't understand how you can be that big and not be able to hold up the ball. Ahmad Diallo is smaller than you and he can hold up the ball.
Yeah.
You can't hold up the ball. It doesn't make sense to me. And you're meant to be a striker. Obviously, yeah, I think at Atlanta he was playing off the left, if I'm correct. Obviously, Jez will know better, but I think he was playing off the left at some points.
Yeah,
But
he's
man
right. That's
doesn't care.
too.
Yeah,
Something like
bro.
that.
Yeah, but man don't care. The reason why I don't even care is because that doesn't take away from your size. Like I say, Mbappe. This is why there's the Mbappe is one of the best players. What's it called? One of the best players in football as well. The reason why I'll say that is because the best players learn how to adapt to the position that they're playing. So Mbappe was having a poor beginning of the season. Now you're seeing that he had to buck up his ideas and say, you know what, this is the position the manager's playing me. He's not looking to play me off the left, which is my preferred position because Vinny's there. So I got to do what I can do to stay in this team by doing what in the position I am, which is what you're seeing that he's doing now. And that can, and the thing is with the mentality of a lot of footballers, that can be any player. Any player just has to say to themselves, when I'm in this position, I'm just going to try and do the best I can do. And it shows because you get me. I know for a fact the Mbappe's, they're training. When everybody's going home, he's probably training, saying, you know what, let me try and find this. Maybe watch a video, let me do this. The hunger's there. To be the best player in your position, you have to have the hunger to want to be there. So with this guy, I know he's not doing any extracurricular outside of it. Obviously, if I'm wrong, but from what I can see, if you're doing extracurricular, you're not doing that dummy in the box. That dummy is the silliest dummy. That's just laziness to me.
It's hard.
Just straight
Like
laziness.
you said, De Niro, don't want to miss.
Yeah.
Rather
This
than
is it.
thinking about, all right, if I shoot, I score, or the keeper makes a mistake, even if it's a poor shot, or it takes a deflection, or it hits a defender and it drops into the path of a teammate and he scores, or if the goalkeeper parries it out, I might be able to shoot again, or my teammate does.
This is it. This is why I get annoyed because Garnacho, one thing I'll give him. What you say? Sorry.
No, I was saying it's a mental thing.
Yeah, definitely. Because this is why I say with like Garnacho, yeah. The one thing I can't hate on him for is that, bro, if he sees a shot, even if it's the dumbest shot, he will still shoot.
Yes.
But the difference between him, Hoyland, and a Garnacho, I believe Hoyland is definitely a better player than Garnacho. That's in my opinion, innit? But they're both dead, but like he's better than Garnacho. So if you shoot, you're more likely to get something out of it than what Garnacho's getting. You understand? Because like I say, we've seen you rocket certain shots. Shot power is a big thing. People forget. Back in the day, shot power's only been taken out of the game a bit more now. When I say shot power, like a lot of players have shot power, but what I mean is like a lot of players is like a finesse place and da 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 da. But I remember back in the day when I was younger with the Steven Gerrards and them, man, it wasn't even just placement, it was shot power, bro. Them man will lick a shot from 30 yards and you'll just be like, what the flip just happened? Yeah, some of the keepers back in the day weren't the greatest, but it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that sometimes the game has changed a lot to more being technical and trying to slot it this corner and that corner. Sometimes you just got to hit the ball, bro. Just hit the ball and hope for the best. A lot of players, like I say, let's be real. Even Mbappe, yeah, I have to always use him as an example. Mbappe, a lot of his goals that he scores sometimes are not even placement. He just licks the ball and hopes for the best, bro. And this is the thing where I feel like that's a confidence thing. And if you get it wrong, you will get it wrong. Cristiano Ronaldo came to United and was getting it wrong, but kept doing it. He probably got criticized. People were saying, who's this guy? Yeah, exactly. This is it. And that's part of the game. That's what I think a lot of the footballers know in the game now lack. It's the thing where When they're too scared to take that shot and it goes Rose, and then obviously you got the pundits and the YouTubers saying, "Oh, this guy stinks," and bro, it's part of the game. Because once you actually start hitting it, the opinion will change. You will see how the opinion changes quickly. Nicholas Jackson is an example of that. Obviously, he's back to a bad form, but when he now started scoring, everybody changed their tone and was like, "Oh, yeah, that this guy da." So that's how the game is. So you got to take them risks, bro. You got to kind of just be like, you know what? If I sky this Rose, I know I'm gonna get hated on, but it doesn't matter. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Eventually, you'll see that it starts paying off. That's what I think about footballers, where their mentality is wrong. They too much focused, because I know Højlund is one of them players. Garnacho is the same. The rest, a lot of these young players is that you're too focused on what the internet is saying about you. Forget what the internet is saying about you. When you first come into the football game, the managers will tell you, when you're in academy, I've been in academy, I know what they're telling me. They will tell you, you will get criticism when you face it. Are you ready to face that billing when you jump on that pitch? You decided to join Manchester United. No one told you to do that. You decided to do that. You could have joined any other team, bro. You could have gone to Crystal Palace, less pressure. You could have gone to West Ham, less pressure. But the reality of the situation is you join one of the biggest clubs in the world. So when you join that, if you're not performing, you're going to get criticized. And if you get criticized, that does not mean now all of a sudden you start like saying, okay, I'm gonna dummy the ball in the box because I'm a bit too scared that if I shoot this ball and I make a mistake, because that's the thought process he's thinking of. So you just come out of that mindset. In my opinion, if he comes out of that mindset, start shooting. Start getting yourself into positions to want to be hungry for the ball. When that loose ball drops, you're there. That's what you need to do. That's the type of striker that people are just asking for. As much as people hate, and there's a lot of fans that don't know anything about football and they just talk, remember, those are the best fans because they're the reactionary ones. They're the ones that you can convince. Whereas the flawlesses and obviously the more constructive fans that know football, it will be a bit harder to convince them. But the ones who are really, really criticizing you are the ones you can change their minds so quickly if you decide to start just taking shots and then it starts working for you. You're gonna change minds quickly. That's the reality of football. Football is a reactionary sport. That's what fans are there for. Fans are reactionary. If you're doing well, everybody will praise you. If you're doing bad, everybody's going to criticize you. The best players get criticized. Cristiano Ronaldo came to United. One of the best. Well, is the best player in the world. Not anymore, but at the time, for how many years, got criticized. So what makes you any different? That's the mentality I just think he needs to change. So I just thought, obviously, to just put that out there, that like for me, he's not the greatest player, but you can change your mentality and still do well with what you've got, with the attributes you've got. We've seen it so many times. So yeah, bro.
Yeah, and you spot on. That's why I didn't even interrupt. Like, and it's refreshing to hear that from a rival perspective. And he's hiding. For those that don't know, because Red Devil asked to big up in the chat as well. But when we was talking about Højlund dummying the ball in the box against Ipswich, hiding. Don't want to miss. It's like, all right, because you didn't get a shout because there's no United player behind you. No one, no shout to dummy that. And a confident striker shooting that anyway. And it's on your left foot, which you are left-footed. And people still going to defend this guy. Man, he scored in 12 games. No goals, no assists in 12 Premier League games, and people still going to defend him. 0012. Number 17, 0015. What are we doing? So hopefully we see some different players on Sunday. That's what I am indeed hoping for. Before we close out, I know you lot had a couple questions as well. Jez, we'll go to you first on this. Is this Son's, it's from Ahmad, is this Argentine, I should say, is this Son's last year at Spurs? Should he go back to Korea if he's not in the top leagues anymore? He's asking.
Should Son go back to Korea? I don't think he has to go back to Korea. I think he can still play football at a decent level. Like, I mean, shit, you see Serie A, man. You can see guys go all the way into the 40s and still play good football even now. So I don't think you have to go back to South Korea. But I talked about it on the last show, late in the end. You know, it's just obviously since you asked the question, I'll say it again. I think it's a situation where Spurs is not going to be in a great situation next season, most likely. Most Spurs fans will agree. I know De Niro will probably agree. I don't think we're going to have like some amazing season all of a sudden out of nowhere. I think it should be a situation where the club goes to him and have the conversation. I don't think Son is going to have to, from him saying, I want to leave the football club. So if I'm the club I'm going to him. I'm having the conversation saying how we want to move ways because we're going into a direction where we cannot guarantee you that we're going to be competing anytime soon. Shit, we're not even competing right now. And with the age that he's at, I'm fine having the conversation saying that he can go in the summer, not because I don't think he's good enough anymore, but you can see the decline in this game is there. You can see the criticism that he's not getting by the fan base. And you see constant like toxicity around the place because of the Korean fans who come to watch the games. Stupid, anyways, in my opinion. You see it on the social medias, countless time people. You have your Sun FCs wherever they are from Korea or from the Spurs fan base in England or wherever across the globe. So for me, if it was up to me, I'm saying, look, we're gonna put you out there saying we're happy to sell you, and you obviously then agree, and then you hope that there's going to be clubs that put you in a situation where you can start competing. Because I know there's definitely clubs who are willing to take you even at this stage of your career, because maybe they're saying maybe you need to be in a different environment. So this is what I would do, and this is not even out of a thing of like I'm trying to say he's shit, he's dog shit, get him out of here. Now this is me saying how appreciate what you've done for the football club, but it's time to move on, type of thing.
No, Faz, what you saying, De Niro? In regards to Son, you like to see him stay? Are you saying, hey, end of the season, you're good with it moving on?
He can stay in it, but I'll be real, like, if he stays, it doesn't take away from the fact of I'd like to see some new players, and if he stays, like, he can still hold a bench if he's not performing, and that's all I care about. So he can stay. If he's performing, you start. If you don't, bro, hold bench. That's what I'm on, basically. But I know that's probably not gonna happen, because if he stays, he's whatever manager comes is like a kind of heritage thing. So probably still start regardless. But yeah, but I'm on that type of timing with like how United fans were with Ronaldo type thing, where you can stay, but some games you're gonna have to hold bench, bro, because it's not made for you for this game, bro. So if Spurs can recruit certain players, and which I don't think we'll do as long as that body is involved in the situation, then bro, like, yeah, he can stay, but just hold bench. But like I say, people are saying that he could go obviously to another club. I can't lie, if he's gonna go to another club, it can't be a Prem club, bro. He's gotta go to like another, bro. Because I'm telling you now,
Type thing.
bro, I'm telling you now, if he joins any Prem club, he will not perform, bro. I'm telling you this now, bro. He needs to go to another club in a different country, bro. The guy's legs are not there no more. People can say it's there. This is not a Casemiro United situation where his legs are still there. Man are saying is that, bro, Son's legs are not there. Let me tell you why. Because if you go assess his game, the guy can't even beat his man. That's got nothing to do with anybody else but yourself. So unless he decides to say, yeah, I'm gonna buck up my ideas and maybe be able to beat my man, then we can change our opinion. But right now, I can't lie that I don't remember the last time this guy fully beat his man. And I don't want to hear about, oh, he beat his man the other day. I'm not talking about them little dead right backs that play for all of these clubs.
You know what he does? You know what he does? Because I had that conversation before, and some people trying to get at me for saying this. He cooks his fullback if it's a centre back. He doesn't cook his fullback if it's an actual fullback.
This is it, bro. I don't want to hear about you get, because like there's a difference. But we know what we mean by cook. Everybody knows what cook means, and we're talking about them man that really cook. They're the right backs. Any right back you bring, they're on job to cook them, bro. You get me? This is why I go in on players like Sancho and them man, bro. You get, because them man they'll beat my man and then obviously turn back again, because they're not fast enough to even get past the you that they beat already. True. So they're so slow that they beat my man and then the guy even catches up and then they have to turn back again and then they try to do the dribble and then you lose the ball. So this is the reality of what I say, bro. Like Son, I still rate him. I'm not gonna, you get me, cook him like that, because you get me, the guy deserves the respect because he's done a lot for man. Even though we ain't won nothing, but he's done a lot for man. You get me? So yeah, bro, I can't. But yeah, I don't really care, innit? I know what I'm on. I need to see a trophy. That's all I care, bro. Sacrifice everybody. I just need a trophy. That's it, bro. That's all I care about.
100%. This is what it is, innit? And it's like, I mean, I've been saying this whole. I think some people have been saying how it's Ange's fault for the way he plays him. And I'm like, yeah, Son is not a touchline winger, but it's not like he wasn't struggling under Conte too. So it's not. It's a thing that's already been there. Like obviously before MDJ was in the channel, Flo's helped me many times talk about how I think Son is getting to the point where he's finished. So and to be honest, I think he has gained some form back. But I keep saying this. This guy's been here since Poch. He's been playing so many different systems, more systems where there's a lot of asked for in terms of just running and sprinting, pressing. And when you're 32, it's natural that it's going to take a toll on you as a player. It's just a natural thing. So you can see the decline in this game. This is not the same Son that I watched when he came to the football club. This is not the same Son that I watched when I watched him at Leverkusen. It's not even the same Son that was under Jose no more. So we have to be honest with these conversations. This is not me trying to disrespect him, because I feel like people seem like as if you're trying to talk bad about Son, it automatically means you.
Are you telling me that just when you criticize someone, people think you hate them? That's why
No.
people have asked me, as you've seen, am I hammer him out because I've criticized him? It's mad.
No, you can still say I like Son. Like Son, actually one of my favorite players in the Spurs since the Poch in this Poch era. He's one of my favorite. I like him more than Kane because everybody knows that I'm a Bundesliga guy, and I loved that guy when he was in the Bundesliga. So I was gasped when we first signed him. So this is somebody who is happy to defend Son when he needs to be defended. But in most times, as Danilo says, it's hard to defend him because what based on? If there's like I give you my reasons why I'm defending Tel, even though I criticize Tel, I can give you reasons why I criticize Tel as well. But I give you reasons why I can defend him. With Son, I don't really have enough in me to think of why I can defend him in terms of why he should stay at this football club. You know, so it's like I said, and Danilo was saying this. If he stays here next season, I wouldn't hate if he stays here next season. But I'm on the same energy where like him being next season shouldn't stop us from looking at that left wing position, trying to figure out what we want to do here. I think Udabud is a good talent, but we haven't seen him a lot this season, so we have to see what he does for the rest of the season. We need to know if we're going to buy Tel. Maybe he's seen as a long-term Son replacement on the left. Who knows? Maybe you want to get a Mikey Moore still there on the left. So there's a lot of left wingers out there. So even if you, and a big issue that I'm having is because he's captain. And you know the conversation that you have when you start being captain, and you don't want to have a situation where you want to take the captaincy off him. Me personally, I would rather him wanting to leave the football club first before you have to go to these type of measurements just to be able to make it easier for you to put him on the bench. That's why I'm saying the best solution is the football club and him find an agreement of, you know what, appreciate what you have done, appreciate the revenue that you brought to the football club, appreciate your loyalty, because he could have left on a free a couple of years ago but decided to extend his contract to put his loyalty to the football club first. But it's time to move on. Like I said, everybody has to move on eventually. That's why even when people was talking about Harry Kane, I always kept saying to people, eventually Harry Kane is going to leave this football club anyway. Wherever it's him joining a new club or he has to retire. So, yeah, man. Like for me, this is what I would do. But if he's here next season and you're still seeing similar issues with performances, yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable conversations within the fan base. And I'm somebody, like I said, I'm doing my risk assessment. I'm putting the risk already down what could happen next season if he's here. And if we're not going to handle it well, like we always do. So, I found my solution. But will the club do it is the real question. We can only find out when we get to the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I seen a report the other day that the club wanted to retire at the football club.
Oh, he wants Son to retire at the club.
Yeah, I saw a report the other day about it that they want him to retire at the football club. Obviously, the report didn't say if Son is interested in retiring at the football club, but it says that the club wants us to. So we know. So if that's true, and there's also decent source as well, we kind of know where the football club stands on it.
Yeah, you might know this. Did Son on his come up play for like his hometown or the club he supported as a kid in Korea? Did he play for them in South Korea?
No, he didn't. He didn't play. He didn't play for them, and he moved like hella. Like he moved hella early to play in the Hamburg academy.
Oh, right, okay. So you don't really have like an attachment to a South Korean club.
No, he never played in South Korea like at any sort of like level. Like Mitoma played in his university, for example. Like, and of course, the universities in Japan, they play actually pro football.
Yeah.
So he didn't do that. He moved it's kind of like Kantin Lee, the guy at PSG, where he moved hella early to Spain to play for Valencia.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I get you. I didn't even know he went to the Valencia Academy, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Nah, fast. I hear that. But before we do indeed close out, again, please make sure you run up the likes. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, Sarcasm City TV. Don't forget as well to subscribe to Jacob's channel, United Spurs of America. Links in the title. We're going to redirect to him in a second if he is still indeed live. Jez, we'll go to you. Alkmaar versus Tottenham Hotspur. AZ Alkmaar versus Tottenham Hotspur, Europa League, round of 32. Is it round of 32? It is round of 32 first leg. Oh, round of 16, sorry. Round of 16 first leg. I stand corrected, round of 16 first leg. Scoreline prediction.
Stay in the game, 1-1.
Stay in the game, 1-1. Dinero, my G, what are you saying? Scoreline prediction.
1-0 Spurs.
Let's go. 1-0 Spurs. Love that.
Nah, this guy, bro.
What you mean, yo? This guy. What
bro, there had to be one. There just had to be one, bro.
Surprised, yo.
Nah, there had to be one, though. This guy, bro. It's calm with it. Don't worry. 1-0.
You know what it is, Dinero? I can't remember the last time you predicted a Spurs win. That's why it caught me off guard. I thought you was gonna say draw. You know what I'm saying?
But you didn't have to do it. Let's say because you know what the season has been like for us. So it's like, yo, you could have just moved on.
No, it's been like it for me. We've been in the same swap.
Keep stepping, but we not here for the long explanations.
Yo, we in the same swamp. You feel?
Nah, bro.
We're in the same swamp. We're in the same swamp, but you don't have to make it deeper.
Hey, this guy said, come on, bro. Like, don't worry, innit?
You say like that, yeah. That's how you say it.
No. Because you say it like that, we lose the game and then we come on here ranting again.
Yep.
Yo, I'm hoping you lot. I need you lot to get a dub. You know what I'm saying?
No, of course.
I need you lot to get a dub. Legit. Like when Spurs win, it's great. You know, it's great trolling material for everybody. Like I can use. That's why I'm just leaning into the gimmicks. You see the snowman gimmick, milkman, all that shit. Leading into that snowman gimmick, 100%. I've been leading into that gimmick. And the same with the Spurs thing. It's like people gonna believe what they want to believe. People like you're never gonna beat the allegations. You lot believed it anyway. I'm just gonna lead into the gimmick in full. So that's what it is. So I need you lot to get a dub. For real. Like United on one side, Spurs on the other. Like getting through the Europa League stages on opposite side. I need that. You know what I'm saying? I need that. Yeah, I need that. And look at this prime guy. What a prick. But people, the content is stopping over. A shout out to Pels as well, says good show. Love Pels every single time. Big up to everyone that's tapped in. Whether you're watching this live right now or watching this back after, big up to you. Content stopping on the YouTube, but it's not stopping tonight. We're going to be live in the playback in a couple hours, people, because it is the LA Derby. LA Clippers versus the LA Lakers. LA Lakers versus LA Clippers. So that watch will be live on the Sarcasm City TV playback. Go on, what did he say?
Now we can talk about more on the playback, but obviously just to quickly read it because Stephen A. Smith was saying something about a comment that LeBron was making about the pace of the league.
Yeah.
So he said obviously exactly made my point, but anyways, I'm happy this conversation has started. It ain't about a phase of the game. It ain't about one person or one show. It's about the culture of basketball, the most beautiful game in the world. Our game has never been better. Incredible young stars from all over the world and some older ones. Steph Curry should be all we are talking about today. Let's discuss how great OKC and the Cavs have been this season with two completely different styles and breakdown why and how they have. Of course, if players don't perform, we need to discuss that too and break that down. Even that can be discussed in a way that's not bring finality to that player's game, but to leave room to see how that player responds, and let's watch the journey of that player. That's what he said.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Yeah, obviously we can go more on over the so people, if you're interested, join the playbook.
There we go, people. Like Jacob said, this is the hood of Sarcasm City TV. You know what I'm saying? So www.playback.tv/Sarcasm City TV. That's playback.tv/Sarcasm City TV. Or you just download the Playback app from your app store, people. And the same way you watch and comment on YouTube is the exact same on Playback. Literally create an account for free, sign up for free, and then you hit the follow button on the Sarcasm City TV Playback, and then you literally watch us the same way and comment. NBA watch-alongs over there. You're going to get FA Cup watch-alongs all weekend long as well. Europa League, Champions League, Premier League, all them watch-alongs are over there. So if you want to see more Sarcasm City TV content, head over there. Same way I do, obviously, the United watch-alongs you get on here on the YouTube and on the Playback. All the others are over on solely on the Playback. Like Javonte Davis is fighting tomorrow, people. So that watch-along won't be here on the YouTube. That'll be on the Playback. So yeah, we're going to go live in a couple hours. Like I said, LA Lakers, LA Clippers. Luka Doncic, his first matchup in the Laker jersey against the Clippers. So we will be there for that, as you can see it on the screen as well. And don't forget as well, people, this show, all the other shows you watch on the YouTube channel, apart from fan calling shows, the gaming content, and fan calling and watch-alongs are all available on all audio platforms as well. So you might just not want to have YouTube using up all your data as you're just getting about. Maybe you're working, driving, cleaning, whatever you are doing, cleaning, cooking, and you just want to listen to the audio. So go to Spotify, type in Sarcasm City TV, 5 stars, hit the notification bell. Same with iTunes, Apple Podcasts for all you iPhone users, SoundCloud, or wherever you listen to podcasts. But yeah, this has been United Spurs.
Just one last thing.
Of course.
Obviously, shout out to the king, the one and only, Akira Toriyama. Obviously, it's been a year since he passed away. And obviously, for the people that have been following, obviously, new series came out, Dragon Ball Daima, and they did it actually perfectly, where the last episode aired in Japan today, on the 1st, to kind of honor him, just to make sure, and that shit was peak, man. I was watching it, so now, man, I had to shout out the king, man, because not only did Dragon Ball inspired me in terms of obviously other shows that I watch, but also you take certain lessons in real life as well, which made me the person that I am, and the people that love me on here in terms of saying my personality, because it came from shows like that, and I just had to say it, man. I had to say it. So big up to Akira Toriyama, man.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z beyond goated. You know what I'm saying? Man grew up on that show, legit. The point I still watch it as I do. My man grew up on that shit as a kid. Never forget Goku turning Super Saiyan. Best moments ever watching as a child. So big up again. Love to everyone that's locked in. With Lakers Clippers on the Playback, and then tomorrow whole host of content, watch-alongs, all of that good stuff, people. So over on the Playback, you'll get Bournemouth Wolves. That watch-along will be going on FA Cup 5th round. Then you'll get Real Betis versus Real Madrid. So you get an FA Cup watch-along. That'll be 3 p.m. UK time. Then 5:30 p.m. UK time, you get Real Betis versus Real Madrid. And then 9:30 p.m. people, the Manchester United Arsenal show. Tony is back, people, because he missed the show on Wednesday. So Man United, gonna talk from the Arsenal. Tony is back. TJ will be there. Don C is also back. And then it gets even better, because following that show, 11:30 p.m. UK time, FA Cup edition, Yardman show is there. So Lex will be on there, Kaneki will be on there, Javon will be on there. And then following that, people, you then get the Tank Davis fight, like I mentioned, over on the Playback. So Stack Day, and that's just Saturday. That's just the day today, technically. So big up. Love to everyone that has locked in. Oh shit, De Niro, anything you want to add before we close out, my G?
Nah, nothing much, but obviously man's due to just drop something. I'm gonna drop a video in like a week or so.
Okay.
So,
let's go on your channel, yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, you lot, make sure you subscribe to M. De Niro's channel. It's his name there, you see it. And definitely we'll be promoting that once it drops. What day you got a date yet?
So not an exact date yet, but I'll say just give it. So the estimated date, but would be like around the 13th of March, innit? So not next week, the week after.
Oh, all right, calm. Well, you lot will see that on here. Definitely gonna play that on the intro and the outro of a couple streams, and obviously post it out as well. So yeah, big up, man. See, man, everyone over here working, people. So make sure you check that out as well. But big up, love to everyone that's locked in. This has been the Manchester United Tottenham Hotspur show. Man United podcast, talking at Tottenham Talk podcast, live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see you lot in a couple hours on the Playback for the Clippers versus the Lakers. Salute.